Good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. Hi, welcome back to Jonesy Chats Wrestling. What up? I hope you're all well. Today's video is a brand new kind of type of topic we're going to be doing. It's a weekly kind of review show discussing Raw, Smackdown, all the latest WWE news and rumors, all condensed in one. We haven't done a podcast for a while. Just thought it'd be good to get all the good stuff in one, really. Let's hit it. So, joined by a special guest, none other than Steve from SCW. How are you today, Steve?
Yeah, really good, thank you. It's good to be here. It's good to chat wrestling with you once again. And yeah, looking forward to diving into this new concept of podcast we've got going today.
Definitely, but good to hear the points. So we'll start at the beginning then. So let's start with kind of Monday Night Raw. So Monday Night Raw, what was your overview of the show before I break down some of the key parts that I thought were particularly great this week?
I mean, to be brutally honest, I mean, I don't know, Raw seems so far long ago now. When you've had like NXT, AEW, but obviously when you look at that main event, obviously with Drew McIntyre prevailing at the end of it, and the story with Riddle throughout the show, I think there's some plus points with this show, and particularly like the way that Riddle had that ongoing story throughout the evening. They gave you a reason to be engaged from start to finish, where sometimes you just get segments. So yeah, I think Raw this week was more passable than usually the heavy criticism that I usually give it.
Yeah, definitely. I think a couple of good talking points with it. I think that main event was fantastic. The main event was so good. Like, it really felt like we've really been spoilt by wrestling this week. Some of the matches have been that good. Crucially, some interesting points. Doudrop picking up a win over Oscar. That was kind of crazy. That was really out there, beating Oscar in 3 minutes. I didn't see that coming. I thought that was a big surprise. What were your thoughts of Doudrop getting that big win then in this Eva Marie storyline that's going on?
It depends which way of the cycle you look at it, because everyone on social media was going, "Oh my God, Oscar's lost in 3 minutes. That's really bad. It's really bad." It's like, yeah, you're right. It is really bad. Oscar shouldn't be losing in 3 minutes. But hey, a newcomer's coming to Raw, and she's being pushed really, really well. You can't argue. I mean, take the name away. The name isn't good, and we know now that the name isn't what Piper Niven wants to be called. She's got a problem with it. There's definitely still the friction with her and Eva Marie, but where Eva Marie suffered from not getting a tag team partner last week, Doudrop, can I call her Piper Niven? Piper Niven seems to just be able to overcome all odds. And if she's continued to be booked this strongly, she'll be a player in the Raw Women's division. And we need fresh blood that's pushed towards the top. So I see the positive and the negative from Oscar and Naomi. Let's not forget Naomi. She was also in this match. It was a 2-on-1 advantage, really. And both of them couldn't succeed. Not very good. But for Piper Niven, well, she must be very happy with how things are going on that side of Raw so far in her booking.
Definitely. I think you make some great points. I think they're trying to move sort of 6 months worth of storyline in 2 weeks. I'm surprised how quick it's kind of going, but I'm enjoying it. It's great to see Piper Niven get a push at the end of it. Doudrop is fun. Interested what they do next. Hopefully we get a contender out of the women's division coming out of this big win, but rare to see it. It's nice to see the upset. Another big one this week as well, the return of Damian Priest. Damian Priest randomly appearing in the Battle Royal. Great to see him back. Very surprised he just turned up, but it's WWE. What did you think of the return of Damian Priest this week?
It was good to see him back because, like you say, we've not seen him for a while. And I mean, to be honest, really, that Battle Royal, I was pleased to see so many of the people in there because they got some TV time. And it wasn't just a random Battle Royal where people were just randomly thrown out a lot of time. There was a good chance to get some spots in for some personality. I noticed Jinder Mahal got quite a few eliminations. Yeah. But the key thing, like you said, with Damian Priest is that he got to the final two. And let's be honest, one thing about this Battle Royal that you can say negatively, the second you knew Riddle was in it, Riddle was winning. There was no other contender that was going to win this match. So the best thing that Priest could have hoped for was to be a strong second, and that was the thing. He got a strong showing. He came second. He had a little, exchange with Riddle backstage later in the evening as well. This is good. He's been introduced to TV. He's not been looked weak in doing so. This wasn't bad for Priest this week. I'm pleased to see him back on my TV set.
Definitely. I think you made some great points there. Clearly coming out of this Raw, it was all about Riddle. The push from Matt Riddle, it's really on. This guy's potentially going to be a megastar based on his recent work. I'm really kind of enjoying the rebirth. I think the last kind of thing I'd say about Raw, this is our first kind of news and rumor story of the day. So Raw was rewritten. Apparently, allegedly, Raw was rewritten. The original plan for Raw was there was no Battle Royal. The original plan of Raw was that Drew McIntyre was going to be attacked by Jinder Mahal, and Randy Orton was going to win the sort of match to qualify. So, but obviously because Randy was there, unexplained reasons this week, obviously personal reasons, we don't know why yet. That's why they made that cameo. What did you think of the change of Raw? And would you like to see the original plan?
Obviously, for the original plan, I really want to see the Jinder and Drew storyline, but I do think that could also have a major impact if it was done at Money in the Bank as well. That could be a great way to take Drew out of the match. There's still time to do it as well in between. As well, the idea, I love the connotations of what they did instead, though, with Matt Riddle, because Riddle, he wants to avenge for what happened to Orton last week. He wants to pay back. He got so close throughout the entire evening to getting Orton in that spot and just fell short. And the key part is as well, he was the one that took the fall. So, I mean, that's going to play some fantastic narrative out when Randy Orton comes back to TV. So there's some good dynamics that come from this. So, yeah, they had to change things. Okay. But you know what? What we got instead, I was really satisfied with.
I think it's so well done. The whole Randy Orton Riddle thing's been so well done. There's so many layers they can go on. They can do this non-awaited tag team title match eventually. They can split. They can have this feud. But really well done, WWE's part. It's really well built. There's a lot of thought going into it, which is really rare to see, which is nice to see.
Absolutely, I'd have to agree with that. And like you say, I mean, they've done a great story. If they want to really like hold off for Randy Orton to really embrace RK Bro and do the sort of post celebration together till fans come back, they've really done a good job in doing so with that, because they've given some narrative and some question marks in between as well. And when you're asking questions, that's when you need to know answers. If it's the same song and dance every week, it gets a bit boring. So no, I like where they're going.
Definitely got a comment here. Wrestling Network. Good afternoon, Wrestling Network. Thank you for your comment and check out the video. Randy and Riddle storyline is one of the most enjoyable in WWE. I agree. It's Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho again, I think, for 2021. I've said that before, but I don't know if you feel the same with that, Steve.
I mean, it's a comparison. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the most, it's an oddball couple, and it's certainly interesting. It's entertaining. So, yeah, I'm all for this. I mean, you know what I was saying about Riddle early in the year? I wasn't enjoying the work as much. This, I'm thoroughly enjoying.
Definitely. So let's move on to SmackDown then. So this SmackDown, yeah, there's a lot to talk about in parts. We'll break it down in some of the crucial things. Let's start kind of the beginning. Edge's promo that opened up the show, really, really good. It kind of tried to fix the mess that happened at WrestleMania with Roman destroying both Edge and Daniel Bryan. I think the promo did it. It was a really good promo. It makes me want to see this match. This is going to be a match that excites me still, despite Roman Reigns' dominance. What did you think of the opening promo? Did you enjoy it, or any feedback on it?
It was strong. I have to agree with you. I mean, it's really put the pieces in place for this match. I love the idea. You can tell Edge is a babyface, but he's not that squeaky clean babyface we're used to seeing. 2006 Edge would have reacted a different way. 2021 reacts this way. That's how you know he's a babyface, but he's not doing things the normal way. And as you go later in the evening, we will probably explain that further. But it's just the idea of Edge that we've just not got the traditional look of a babyface, a traditional good guy. This is a shade of grey. You could argue even tweener to a point, but we need more people with this sort of we need more diversity in the idea of the way with the character work as well, a babyface in WWE, not just this one-dimensional thing. Edge presented something different this week. It's fresh, it's exciting. Yeah, he's one of the legends, but that means he's got the experience and know-how how to do that. Edge versus Roman right now on the road to Money in the Bank is certainly one of the more interesting feuds.
Definitely. I definitely think this week was done to turn him babyface. Clearly, he was a heel going into WrestleMania. That hole's been dropped now. He's now a babyface, which kind of makes sense going against Roman. Going to go to the comments we got here. Noob and Co. Hopefully, Orton and Riddle win those tag team titles in front of fans. They'll win them and then they'll split. That's what I think. But no, great comment, Noob. Thank you for your comment, checking that video. Martin Carrillo, what's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well today. Thank you, Martin. Hope you're well. Thank you for checking that video. Martin Carrillo, is it me or is WWE giving more storytelling to matches recently? Look at Corbin, Nakamura, Riddle, and Alexa. Yeah, very good analysis. I agree that they are giving more time. Speaking of Corbin, Baron Corbin, I can't believe we're actually discussing this. Very interesting scenario going on with Baron Corbin. This is a guy that's gone the opposite of Cameron Grimes. He hasn't got any money. He's literally poor now all the time. Very, very interesting. Clearly, he's been mocked by everybody. Very interesting this week. WWE trademarked Happy Corbin. So for me, I'm enjoying this Baron Corbin thing. It's something different. I cannot believe the way that Rick Boogs talked to him and just made him look like that, which Baron's had it coming for ages, to be fair. But what have you made of this change of character to Baron Corbin? And are you looking forward to seeing Happy Corbin whenever that happens on TV?
Well, I've been singing Pharrell Williams all week since I've been hearing about Happy Corbin, I must admit. But looking at it, I must admit I'm enjoying the storyline. And the thing is also, I mean, but Corbin's technically been babyface for weeks. What's been going with Nakamura and Boogs? Like everyone was like cheering, like, "Oh yeah, Corbin's getting his crown taken off of him." Really, they were acting like he was for weeks. So it's kind of going into that dynamic now where it's starting to become clearer, and that's really interesting. It's a fascinating thing to see, and of course, they will actually have a Money in the Bank qualifier next week as well, which will be fun to see how that's. Well, we say it's fun to see how that's going to play out. I'm pretty sure that Nakamura will get the spot and Corbin will get more of a sympathy. And the thing is, the key part you said there was the way of Cameron Grimes, that sympathy for that character. And WWE's doing a great job of that with Corbin as well. And this is how you're going to organically get him over. People say, I can't get behind him as a babyface. Do you know what? you might start to feel it in a little bit, because I'm feeling sympathy. I know quite a few people on social media have been saying it as well. If WWE keep booking this right, you might find that Corbin as a face can actually work.
Very good point. Who do you think is going to be his mentor, though? Because I think he's going to need a mentor to be positive. Like, I can see him being rock bottom. Someone needs to pick him up. Obviously, $1 Million Man is on NXT, so it won't be him. But I can think of heels, but I can't think of any positive. The heels I would love to have seen would have been IRS. That could have been a fun flashback. JBL could have been a fun flashback as well. But in terms of babyface motivator, maybe they'll bring in Diamond Dallas Page. I don't know. That could be fun. Perhaps he can pick him up for the ban. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say there. I mean, the one I could think of, I mean, this is another direction we could do with the happy thing. And I have to give credit to Ovi from the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show for this. He was discussing this idea on his podcast this week. We're happy. What about like the movie Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler? Actually, happy is kind of that quotation, because he just get going mental, wasn't he? He was on the golf course and just losing his mind. It's almost like this sense of irony. So, I mean, Dr. Shelby could be awesome for that, to try and fix that idea, that dynamic back and forth. So I think that could be a fun sort of concept they could do there, but I can't take full credit for that idea.
Great shout to the Hard Hitting Wrestling podcast. Please check that out as well. Cheers for the suggestion, Steve. It's a great shout. Moving forward, the next talking point on SmackDown. This is a big one. So we got Bayley, Bianca. For me, clearly we're going to have this. I thought it was heading towards a hair versus hair match. We've been saying that for weeks that this is probably going to happen. Crucially, it's an I Quit match. What's kind of weird in this, I don't know if you noticed it, Bayley was kind of teasing her careers on the line, but it isn't kind of clear. What did you make of the promo, and what are you taking from it? Do you want to see this match again? And why does Bianca qualify? Why should Bianca defend the title again? What do you think?
I mean, it seems the thing of that Belair just can't seem to shake Bayley away, and Bayley just gets those wins and that sort of key place that just keeps her in the picture. And obviously, what we know the real reason is that WWE doesn't feel they've got someone that can fill that spot. In the meantime, they think Bayley is the most likely one to do so. And I don't want Bayley to have just gone, complete into the background. Although I'm sure if she wasn't in this, she probably would have been in the ladder match. But looking at things, I would turn around and say that I'm happy to see the match again, but I don't really feel that I need to see the match again. And you said that Bayley had some very interesting, weird quotes there. Now, if it was like loser leaves SmackDown, fair enough. Bayley goes to Raw, totally cool. But to leave WWE, to stop wrestling, is there a small seed planted here of something we're not aware of? Well, time will tell.
I'm going to put a prediction out there, Steve. I think if they're going to do this, if it is career versus title, Money in the Bank, I can see Bayley winning. I can't believe I'm saying that. I think Bayley will win. I don't think she'll go. And I think this will lead to hair versus hair at SummerSlam, or hair versus title at SummerSlam. And I can see sort of Bayley literally getting shaved, like in some way. I can see Bayley being willing to get one, getting the head shaved, although Bianca's the one with the hair as well. I think it'll be good, but they've got to do this hair versus hair match until Sasha comes back, or at least until they could get Sasha involved. Because I think for me, the whole point of this feud's been hair. Like, Bayley's been destroyed week on week, apart from last week where she was able to get that tag win. Like, it's not very fair, not very even, but I'm a fan of this. The match will be good, but I'm just a bit bored of the rematch again and again, really.
The only thing I'm kind of really keen about is the I Quit aspect of it, because usually with a lot of the baby faces, with Cena over the years, you knew Cena was never going to give up. So it was kind of like, oh, what's the point? But I mean, like with this match here, Bianca Belair's not been put in this situation before. And I think if you can put her in these sort of torturous situations on the build up, not a nice thing to say, is it really? But of course, it's storyline purposes. But like, you put her in that situation. Will she say those words, I quit? It can actually be a very good storytelling given to the viewer at home if they present this the right way.
Definitely. Going to go to the comments here. Martin Carrillo, I want Apollo to have a match at Money in the Bank. He hasn't had a pay-per-view match since when the Damian and Connor's title. It's a fair point. He hasn't had a match, but maybe he'll get one. I don't know. You never know. He's kind of obviously just doing nothing at the moment, unfortunately, but I agree. Noob and Co. Speaking of feeling bad, does everyone feel bad for Oscar when she got repped by Doudrop on Raw this week? I feel pretty bad for the women who dragged Oscar in random situations. I kind of agree. We said it was a shock earlier, Noob. I think you probably joined us after that, but if Oscar's doing something off the back of it, then it'll be fine. But a loss doesn't really do anything for Oscar at this point, because Oscar at the moment isn't sort of at the level she once was because of Rhea and Charlotte have got the limelight. What do you think, Steve, to the comment?
Yeah, I mean, as we said earlier on, it's not great for Oscar to be losing that quick time, but of course you are actually elevating the other talent in Doudrop at this point. She's looking very, very strong, and of course it's fresh blood in the division. It freshens things up if she goes towards the top as well, which I don't think she'll do anytime in the near future. Oscar right now clearly is not in the title scene. The biding time of what they're going to do with Oscar, whether she'll move in the draft, whether it'll be just till they can freshen things up after the draft. Oscar at this point can afford the loss. It's not really going to harm her that much. So yeah, it's not good when you think of it. People will say she's buried, but that's Twitter for you.
Definitely. Martin Carrillo, this is ruining the credibility as a top contender. They needed to leave it at Hell in a Cell with Bayley. I agree the Hell in a Cell should have ended the feud, but Sasha's away. They didn't have anybody in place, as Steve said earlier. It's great in ring, but we've seen it. What's giving Bayley a chance, really? That's Finn. Bayley this time needs to win with help if she's going to get that title, I think. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with the Money in the Bank situation, there's not even people enough to fill the Money in the Bank ladder match, which I'm sure we're going to come over to say in a minute who is now filling that spot. But obviously, looking at it, that WWE just didn't have the quota to fill for this right now. And it just goes to show that with all them releases and stuff, well, perhaps they should have kept one or two of them around because they could have freshened the pack up a little bit.
Okay, let's hit this main talking point. So this is the main talking point coming out of SmackDown. So the main talking point coming out of SmackDown, the big return, Zelina Vega. She's not on AEW as everyone thought. I thought she was going to be on AEW this week. She's back. Obviously got a place in the Money in the Bank briefcase. She does lose her debut match. For me, let's start with the positives. It's a great positive to see her back. I didn't see that coming. That was kept secret, which is lovely to see. That's kind of rare and wrestling. We got that return. For me, it's interesting she's back in a wrestler capacity rather than manager role. In terms of the cons with this, the promo that she returned with was awful. It doesn't make sense with how she left. She left in quite controversial circumstances. There should have been a lot more fire based on the way she left and stuff against WWE. I think they could have done far more with it. And with this, for me, I didn't really like the way they introduced her. It's almost like she's been there for all on. It was all like this was the week really where you either needed to do her as a mystery entrant at the pay-per-view, which would have been great, or you should have had Sonya say, I've got someone coming next week, and then build it up for a week. But for me to come in and lose your first match, what was the point? What did you make of the return of Zelina Vega? What's the pros and cons, mate?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it was a great shock, wasn't it? Of course, Andrade said earlier in the week that he would have loved to have had her as his manager in AEW, but other things were going on. And obviously at the time when we heard that, it was like, what could be going on? And of course, on Friday, she turns up on SmackDown. She's back. Of course, the first thing I think people will think of is that that's a great surprise factor. What does this mean for Aleister Black? Are they going to try and get him back in? There's been rumors that WWE wanted him after they've already released him. So
I heard he signed like 2 weeks ago, apparently. Someone I know that knows somebody in NXT UK said apparently he signed, but take that for what you will. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. The fact that Zelina Vega's gone back, there's a good chance as well that supports that, maybe.
That's the thing. It does support the argument because you'd think that both of them would have a legitimate gripe to not want to go back, sort of thing. Some people are unhappy that Zelina Vega's gone back. Personally, for me, if she's happy, I'm happy. I don't see why people would be unhappy about it. It seems a bit of a bizarre thing that we get on Twitter is that, oh, she's gone back and she's going to go. Yeah, whatever. But I mean, look at the match itself. To lose in 3 minutes isn't the best, and yet it probably shows that Zelina Vega isn't coming back to be the top star on SmackDown. But the thing is, though, like I say, if she's happy, fair play. It's kind of a mixed bag of her coming back. I do feel as well, and I will say this, it would have been nice for her to come back when fans are back. But the difference, I think, of why she's not is I think other people are, and they probably would overshadow her. And that's nothing against her, but if you're getting the likes of John Cena coming back, Sasha Banks coming back, they pushed Edge's return forward. Like, they're probably thinking, well, we've got too many in one go. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to give everyone their equal opportunity. So Zelina Vega, this was her week, and she got a big boom for it. It's definitely the biggest talking point coming out of SmackDown.
Yeah, she did get a big talking point, but she lost. That's the thing. You're coming back on a debut and you're losing. But there we go. I think it's fine. But more credits to WWE in this. They need to do a better job of keeping this stuff secret. I think the fact that no one saw it coming, I didn't see it coming, I think it credit to them. But let's see where it leads. But no, definitely. Have you got anything else you had on SmackDown before we go to kind of the other news and rumors and stuff we've got?
Well, we mentioned Edge there with that babyface thing there, and I just say very quick, as he sort of was like, literally beating down Jimmy at the end of the show there. I think that's the way of showing that it's not a one-night dynamic, squeaky clean babyface. That's how it kind of played out there. But one other interesting note, I'd just quickly say, is Liv Morgan. Obviously, now she's got this thing where she's got to kind of prove herself to get in this Money in the Bank ladder match where everyone else can just be called their shot and they're in the match. Do you think that's going to actually lead to anywhere? Because I feel, if I'm to guess, that she's going to have to do this exact same thing next week for the third person in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Then the fourth week, she'll probably qualify and be the only one on SmackDown who qualified to get in. But once you get to Money in the Bank, does she win it? Or does this storyline kind of just flounder and get forgotten about? Or will we get a Liv versus Sonya kind of feud going on that versus authority figure going forward? Because that would be interesting to give Liv Morgan some form of push. It's good of actually, pushing fresh blood rather than seeing the same faces on TV every single week.
Thanks, Steve. That is a loaded question, what you put there. Credit to you, mate. That's so well thought of, and I think it's really, really good. So let's break the points of the question down. So will Liv Morgan qualify? Yes, she has to qualify based on the fact that she's had these 2 wins over Carmella. She's now She's now beat Zelina Vega as well, so yes, she'll qualify. The thing with it, will she have this feud with Sonya Deville? Yeah, I can see that. I think the trouble you've got is if Liv Morgan, based on the push she's getting, she should really win Money in the Bank. But the problem is if she does win it, she's not going to be beating babyfaces. She's not going to beat Bianca Belair. She's not going to beat Rhea Ripley. They need her to face a heel, so that would fit the Sonya Deville thing. For me, I really can see Liv Morgan being this underdog story they build up. Maybe we'll see her in a world title picture coming potentially at Royal Rumble, WrestleMania next year. I think that's the route they go. It's the fact they started the groundwork on it. I'd like to see it really. For me, I think I'm looking forward to what they do, but I'd love to see that storyline with her and Sonya. Like I said, that's a really great point. It could be good fun to see.
It certainly would be fresh television, and that's one thing that I would definitely give it something rather than seeing the same feuds, the same matches every single week. This would be something completely different, with Liv and Sonya. So I'm all for that. I would rather see that than continue seeing Rhea versus Charlotte versus Asuka. That's Bianca versus Bayley. Do you know what I mean? Like we've seen all of that. Give me something different. This would be something different.
Just going to go to the comments. Martin Carrillo. Alistair did state he's doing projects outside from wrestling. He's not returning. Of course, that could be Kayfabe. We'll see. I think he'll return. I don't know that it'll either be WWE or AEW. I think they're the only ones really that probably maybe could afford him. But let's just hope he's treated right. If he goes to either, I hope he's treated better. That's the most important thing, really.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I'd have to agree. He needs to be treated right. I mean, if WWE bring him back, they have to realise the mistakes they've made and treat him like a megastar. AEW, I think he'll be treated sort of like that anyway. But you mentioned there about the kayfabe in the comment. AJ Styles on the week of the Royal Rumble 2016 said he was not joining WWE despite all the rumours. Lo and behold, entrant number 3 was AJ Styles. So, yeah, take it with a pinch of salt with what Alistair Black says in the meantime in social media.
I'll take the risk and I'll say he's going to join WWE based on what I've heard. I'll take that punt. It may not be right, but I think he will. And the fact that Zelina's there now makes me a lot more positive than I was originally like 2 weeks ago when I heard. But let's go to the next comment. Newbin Co. I was shocked that Zelina Vega returned. But yeah, it's Liv Morgan pretty much wants to fight the Authority, similar to Daniel Bryan versus the Authority. Exactly as you said, Steve. I think Noob's thinking the same, but no, definitely. As long as it goes somewhere. Let's kind of go forward then. So our next kind of story we've got here, we've got an update regarding the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. There are a few more matches that we expect to be added. I'm going to run some of these matches through you, Steve, and just see what you think of it if you're excited if they get added. So the first one we've got here, based on what we've seen on kind of television, is the tag team titles on Raw. It's Styles and Omos against the Viking Raiders. Obviously, the Viking Raiders have been number one contenders for a while. They won it a month ago, and it's been kind of forgotten about. If this match happens, is this one you'd like to see? And I think it'll be fun for me personally.
Yeah, I want to see it. I mean, the Viking Raiders should be on pay-per-view more often. They should be booked better. And the fact that they're number one contenders, AJ and Omos haven't really been on pay-per-view much since either WrestleMania. So, yeah, I'd be quite down for this. I mean, we need to start, having the Raw Tag Team titles defended more. Omos needs more experience. If we're going to do this team where Omos is going to learn so much from AJ Styles, then we need to actually get him in the ring as often as possible, because AJ can't be a tag team wrestler, in my opinion, forever. I want to see him back towards the main event at some point. But as a match here, no, I look forward to this. This will be fun.
Definitely. We've got another one here. Raw Women's title, tag team titles. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose against Tamina and Natalya. They've been building that for weeks. I think that's one that's going to be added. Have you been excited by the build, and do you think it'll be fun?
I kind of enjoyed the stuff they've done backstage with the photo shoots and then sort of fighting in ring. Yeah, they're the only teams they've got. So yeah, they have to do this as the match at the moment. It screams kickoff though, sadly, for the ladies involved, but hopefully it'll still be a good match. Definitely.
An interesting final note. The show is almost sold out. Apparently, there's 9,600 tickets that have gone, which is positive. There's only 278 tickets left. So interesting to see. Hope it sells out. I'm sure it will. I can't wait for a pay-per-view in front of the fans. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, with the fans, how loud they'll be, the first pay-per-view with it, this arguably could be one of the best Money in the Bank pay-per-views of all time.
Definitely. We're going to go to our next talking point of the week then. So this was NXT. From NXT, we got a new champion, a new North American champion, Bronson Reed, dropping the belt. I say Swerve Scott. For me, when I saw that, I was shocked, man. I could not believe it. It's one of the shocks of the year. Really kind of enjoyed it. Obviously, Bronson Reed, there's been a lot of talk of him coming up to the main roster. He's had some trial matches on main event and stuff. What did you make of this title match, and where do you think Bronson goes next?
Yeah, I mean, they've done this. They've pulled the trigger, haven't they? You mentioned already, Bronson Reed's been doing some dark matches. He was on main event a couple of weeks ago, and he's been doing a lot of backstage appearances on Raw and Smackdown. So it's not just been one show a week, it's been both shows. So he's definitely been groomed for that position going forward for the draft upcoming. Apparently, Vince McMahon and WWE are interested in young talent, but also interested in big talent as well. So Bronson Reed does fit that bill, and Tsunami was getting over big time with the way that Wade Barrett was actually screaming on commentary. I hope whichever show they actually put him on can replicate that. I think it's a sure thing Bronson Reed is going to the main roster. And the thing is, Mex made a fantastic point, WrestleMania UK here, is that what you're going to do, if you're going to make decisions on the fly, this is why you've got to always make sure that wins and losses matter. You make sure that people win matches consistently. So when they get in this position and they win the title, it makes sense. You accept it. Hit Row has been on an absolute tear since they were put together. They feel like a natural fit. Swerve Scott, for me, I felt was going to win this match looking at it, because I felt it would have been a real big negative on a 4-on-1 advantage had Swerve not won the title. So I was quite confident that Swerve would win it. But at the same time, I think it makes perfect sense also, because Swerve now, he is the guy that's now at the top of the breakout stars. He's the North American champion. And we've got the NXT Breakout Superstar Tournament coming shortly. A heel holding that championship, a babyface going through every round to the final to pick up that victory. You've got a takeover match waiting there with the winner of the breakout tournament against Isaiah Swerve Scott. I think that would be a perfect line of storytelling going forward into the next takeover.
Definitely. Crucially enough, I think what threw me up with this match was the fact that we've had, obviously, Bronson Reed and Santos Escobar having this kind of feud. So that really kind of it made me think that they wouldn't drop the belt. But no, credit to WWE. It was a great match. It was fun. You just spoke of it, mentioning the NXT Breakout 8-man tournament that's going to start on the 13th of July. Well done, Steve. You beat me to it. You've got my cue cards already, mate. So there we go. That was the next topic. So well done, mate. I suppose you got the lottery numbers while you're at it. Have you?
No, sadly not, mate.
No, okay. So let's move forward. So we've got this breakout tournament. Crucially, obviously, last year, the winner that won last year, he's no longer there. It was Jordan Miles. He kind of got fired after he left. So when we look at last year's people, we had Cameron Grimes in it. We had Bronson Reed in it. It was quite a good platform to make them stars. Some of the names that I think we're going to see in it, I'm going to put this out there now. I think we're going to see the former Harlem Bravado. He's now known as Andre Chase. Drew and Jacob Casper, who are both college wrestlers. I think they're going to be in it. They're now known as Brutus and Julius Creed. We've got Avery Taylor. She was formerly in Evolve. She's now going to be known as JC Jane. Or no, that's going to be here, JC Jane, sorry, as well. For me, I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing this. Them names I think will be great, particularly sort of Andre Chase, aka the Harlem Bravado. I've seen this guy live in person. This guy's promo is great. He was in Ring of Honor and stuff. I'm really looking forward to this. It's great to see this tournament. I'm just looking forward to seeing where it goes. What did you make of this? And you excited by them names potentially being added?
Well, the thing is, what's really interesting is with the breakout tournament last time, I was obviously aware of some of the names, so like Swerve Scott, Cameron Grimes, and Dexter Lumis, but there was a couple of people I wasn't so familiar with. I mean, Bronson Reed I wasn't familiar with at the time. Boa I wasn't familiar with at the time. So there's always that chance that someone will grab your attention. I think this time round, I won't be as familiar with all the talents going in. So I'm quite excited to see what's going to come from it. I know 205 Live this week had a couple of qualifying matches. I must admit, I haven't watched it, haven't checked it out, so I'm not been following 205 Live now for quite a while, sadly. But I do think when it comes to it, I think that this is going to be a good tournament. I think that we will get new stars booked from it. I mean, there's other people as well, like, Gable Stevenson and, Rick Steiner's son could be involved in this as well. So there are people that could break out to us. And one thing I think is crucial is that it would be great for the cruiserweight division if they can get some cruiserweights in this. I mean, we've already seen, is it Connor Hayes? I mean, we've seen him actually be against Adam Cole recently. Yeah. He's had a great performance well against Kushida. Blake Christian as well was on TV as well not too long ago. I forget his new name he's given, but he's a fantastic in-ring talent as well. So there's got a potential here to really, really fix the cruiserweight division up, but also give us some new stars in amongst NXT, because I'm pretty sure that, I'm not saying he's going to get gutted from the main roster when it comes to this next draft, but there's a potential, I think, that more call-ups could be done than we've had for a long, long time. This could be a real refreshed, dare I say, main roster, Raw and SmackDown going forward after we've had the draft this year.
Definitely. The last kind of talking point and story from NXT for this week for me is the battery. The battery's continuing. It's still charging. Crucially, looks like we're going to get a reveal soon. Putting it out there now, I think the reveal is going to be Tegan Nox. I think for me, it's the fit. It fits. It's the person it's going to be. Are you a fan of it being Tegan, or do you think it'll be somebody else?
I'm a big fan if it's Tegan Nox, because it would be great. It would probably fit the timescale as well. It'd be nice to have her back in the women's division. Tegan is a heck of a talent. I've said Ridge Holland from the start, so it'd be wrong for me to break from that now. And of course, for the similar reasons, Ridge Holland's been out for an injury for quite a while. The battery theme just fits a return from an injured superstar. So I did, before Diamond Mine, I wanted it to be Roderick Strong because he'd quit and then he actually was fully charged. back in and could have come in like a Jericho kind of, that Millennium Countdown, come in and ruin the main event with Carla running out of Cole. That's not happened. It's not going to happen. So yeah, Tegan Nox is a great shout from you, but I'm going to stick with Rich Holland.
I know Rich Holland is due back soon, so he's back off injury. So yeah, that's a good shout. One of them two, I'd say. But let's see if we're wrong. See if we've been totally fooled. But it's a great intrigue. It's great they're doing this on NXT. Great to see what they do next. Our next kind of talking point as well we've got sort of a preview of Raw. So this coming week's Raw, a couple of things have been announced. We've got they've changed one of the matches. It was originally going to be Xavier Woods facing Bobby Lashley in a singles match. That's not happening now. We've now got Xavier Woods teaming with Kofi Kingston facing Bobby Lashley and the returning MVP. So, as we said earlier in the week on this channel, MVP is due to come back to the ring. That will start as of this week. That's going to be an interesting match to build up the sort of Money in the Bank World title match between Kofi and Bobby. Are you looking forward to seeing that match? And what do you think of MVP back to the ring?
Yeah, I would say that I would do. I think actually it makes more sense to do this match rather than giving a rematch of Lashley versus Xavier. What can we gain from that? Lashley's got a lot of heat right now as the heel and the monster champion. Kofi's the one that probably needs a bit of momentum going into the pay-per-view, I'd say, of the two right now. So this tag match makes a lot of sense because the New Day can win. Kofi can pin MVP. That would make sense, especially after last week as well with their exchanges on Raw. But no, with MVP being back in the ring, yeah, I mean, the guy is a fantastic talker. He's a legend of the business. He's been involved in some great rivalries, great matches, great United States title reign many moons ago now. I've always had a lot of time for watching MVP. So yeah, pleased to see him back in the ring.
Definitely. We've also got a rematch from last week's show. We've got Ricochet facing John Morrison again. Obviously, last week's match ended in a basic double count out. So looking forward to seeing this. This will be great. Clearly, the Money in the Bank contenders in there. Would you be a fan of seeing this again this week?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this match previously before, especially in Lucha Underground when it was Prince Puma against Johnny Mundo, and those two went all night long, one point in one of their matches on the show. These two have got fantastic chemistry. It was shown this week on Raw. Definitely one of the highlight matches. I'm looking forward to seeing it again this week. And fingers crossed we get a result this time. I think that's the one thing that was missing from last week.
Definitely. And one of the other things that's been announced is going to fit nice with Noob & Co.'s comment. What about the shocking news that we're going to get a medical update on Charlotte Flair? I don't know what that means. We might see Charlotte drop out of Raw's women's titles match at Money in the Bank. Exactly. That they've announced that. So there is going to be an update from Charlotte Flair. For me, yeah, she's not dropping out this title match. I think it's all it was a chop block. She won't drop out from a chop block, I don't think. What do you think Charlotte Flair's update is going to be then?
I have no idea, to be honest. I'm gonna be nice and early and say that I don't know what to expect on Raw this week. Do
you see her dropping out?
I would say, I mean, if there's a reason of where she would have to, then yeah. But if it's a storyline purpose, then of course not. And I mean, if it would be unfortunate if again the Raw Women's Championship picture was affected this year with changes that have been beyond creative control. But at the same time, as long as Charlotte is good, healthy, well, then all's good in the world.
Definitely. Our last kind of talking point before we end the show today, we had quite a few wrestlers back at WWE this past week in dark matches. So we had Shotzi Blackheart. She was back again this week. Toni Storm. We obviously had Karen Cross and Odyssey Jones. Crucially, Shotzi Blackheart and Toni Storm faced each other. Odyssey Jones faced Bobby Roode. Karen Cross faces Zara. That sounds like a dream match. Really great to see all this talent. What do you make of some of the names potentially getting this chance to be sort of dark matches? What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's brilliant to see. It shows who WWE looks like they've got their eye on anyway at this point. Of course, this looks to be the talents as well. And the thing is, I mean, Toni Storm was the one I really popped for the most, I must admit. Now, people might say, well, why? But Toni Storm has not really had the best run on the US version of NXT. It just doesn't feel like there's a spot where she fits in currently. And I do feel that if she was given the platform on a Raw, on a SmackDown, the character work that she has, like the gimmick she's got, and her in-ring work would carry her very well matches. And we look sometimes when people in NXT, the ones that weren't always the most successful whilst in NXT have had more longevity when they've actually gone to Raw or SmackDown. And one key example I'm going to use here is Alexa Bliss, because Alexa Bliss, when she was in NXT, she was never NXT Women's Champion. I don't think she even had a takeover singles one-on-one match. She had a rivalry with Bayley, which I think was on the weekly TV. But when she went out to Raw and SmackDown, or SmackDown at the time, she was champion within 3 or 4 months because she got herself on a roll. She got herself moving in the right way. And once the rocket gets strapped to you, you can go straight to the top. And I think for someone like Toni Storm, right now she seems too lost in the shuffle on NXT. You put her on Raw or SmackDown and things can be booked right for her. That could turn around very, very quickly. And people will be talking about Toni Storm as, well, what she is, which is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world.
I agree. The last kind of comment, we're going to go to the last comment before we end the video tonight. Italy versus England, Euro 2020 final. We lose to Fabio Aitner. We've got to get to the final first, but no, obviously tonight it's Euro 2020, England versus Ukraine. For me, I'm excited for the football. England did a miraculous job against Germany. We've not really connected in this tournament so far, but I think on paper we've got a really good squad. I think we'll get to the final. Any prediction of the score tonight, Steve, before we end the video today?
I'm not a daring man to make a prediction on scores because they usually bite me. So, yeah, I'm going to say that beware of Ukraine. They are the team that you'd want to face. But remember 4 years ago, we wanted to face Iceland. So, yeah, we have to, like Jonesy said, we have to get there. We've got the team on paper that can do the job. But, of course, as well, then we've got to get through the semi-final. We've got to get through Denmark and Czech Republic, who've both done a fantastic job through this tournament so far. And you wouldn't have expected Czech Republic to beat Holland. Yes, we beat them earlier in the tournament. Denmark have been, well, they've probably been the mutuals' favourite since of what's happened a couple of weeks ago. So let's see how it's going to go down. But I'm hopeful for England. Of course, I'm supporting my country. I want to see us get there. But yeah, we have to take it game by game.
Let's hope it's coming home, that's for sure. Steve, just before we end the show tonight, please tell everyone about your fantastic channel in case they don't know already.
Well, if they don't know, thank you for letting me plug it. As always, SCW, the wrestling channel. Of course, the regular Ask SCW Q&A is coming on Sunday. Actually did a Great American Bash predictions with Mex in the week, as well as the Money in the Bank 2011 retro review with WrestleMania Wardridge as well. I'm hoping to drop some more videos in the week. Unfortunately, the schedule's been a bit too busy outside at the moment, where I've been able to do more content than I want. But I promise that I will be there with videos. We'll try and be as regular as possible. And yeah, look forward to interacting with everyone as always. But Jonesy, I want to say as well, thank you for having me on today. It's been great to talk about through the week of wrestling, if you want, and talking about the news and what's been going on the shows. It's certainly been a lot of fun, and it's always great to be on your channel.
No problem, buddy. Steve, listen, I want to thank you so much for doing the show. That's it from here. I want to thank you all for watching. As always, thank you for joining us. I hope you have yourselves a great week. Enjoy all the rest we're going to have next week. As always, stay safe, be well. Thank you for all the support. If you're liking this new format, please let me know in the comments what you think. For me, I kind of enjoy it. I think it's far better. We cover a lot more than what we do on just one show. So please let us know in the comments if you want to see something like this again. As always, please give us a thumbs up. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. That's it from us. I hope you have a good day. And thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.